Well, the weather for the whole of the south of England will continue as it has for the next few weeks. It's going to be hot and moist, with temperatures rising steadily as time goes on. There's a chance of steamy moments as we move into the... sod it. We never wanted to do this. We never wanted to be weathermen and women making innuendos about hot atmospheres and drizzly countries. We didn't want to be child-friendly. We didn't want to bang on about being for over 18s only. We want to talk about our sexy adventures. We want to be lifestylers, leaping from bush to bush as we sail down the rivers of British sex clubs and mountains of crazy experiences. The cheeky purple mamba, the liquid silk pumped liberally into our hand, the rodeo classic brief harness complete with Tantus curve, the Enjoy Pure One stainless steel dildo, the hot octopus digit, the ever so short messages on Fab Swingers, the sexy friends on Twitter, and the mighty vanilla alternative. With my best girlie by my side, we'd swing, swing, swing.
Get in the gym or to your car. With our advice, you could go far. We fuck things up and we make mistakes. And talk about our sexy dates. It's getting hard for this to rhyme. Just as well, 'cause it's bed hopping time.
Welcome to the Bed Hoppers episode 68. My name's Mr. H. Over there, dying in a corner, is...
Mrs. H.
Welcome, dear.
Or a shadow of a former Mrs. H.
So you've not been feeling very well lately, have you?
I have been feeling like ass.
I always feel like a bit of ass.
I feel like dreadful ass.
Dreadful ass.
The worst kind of ass you could possibly find. Imagine that and multiply it by, I don't know, 10 Chinese bat flu things.
10 Chinese bat flu things.
Yeah, I'm expiring, but I'm going to soldier on.
Oh, well done.
Thank you.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Anyway.
Okay, you managed to with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm coping. I'm surviving.
So there may be a bit of coughing going on in the background of this one. Don't worry, if it gets too bad, then I'll call an ambulance and we'll resuscitate
I think you'll just smother me with a pillow, frankly.
Is that the best? The best option now,
That's
is
the
it?
best we can hope for right now.
Bless you. So you've been feeling ill for the last week, Mrs. H, is that right?
It is correct.
And we thought you'd had a reprieve.
But sadly, it seems life wants to shit on me again.
And I think being shut on by life is going to be a little bit of the theme.
It's a running theme right now.
It is. So we've had a particularly difficult couple of weeks. We try to keep you in touch with what's been going on in our lives, just so you get a sense of where we're at or what we're doing. And I think it's fair that whilst we have had some adventures, and we'll cover that in a minute, life has taken a bit of a shitty turn for us at home, hasn't it?
It is biblically shit. I can't even sugarcoat that one.
Well, shall I try and explain this and you chime in?
Yeah, why not?
Rather than you destroy your perfectly sultry, sexy...
My beautiful pipes are destroyed by this evil plague. Yes.
Like yoink scoop! So, a couple of weeks ago, basically, Mrs. H's mum was taken into hospital, which makes a change because we're still dealing with the aftermath of her father having had a stroke. So he still can't communicate. There's still a level of care going on at his house, or her parents' house. And then her mother was taken into hospital. So it didn't seem to be anything major at the time. And they spent sort of best part of 10 days building up her strength to get her back home again.
Yeah, or so we thought.
So we were ferrying Mrs. H's dad to the hospital, which, given the fact that he's now using a wheelchair, is an extraordinary effort, trying to get him into that, trying to wheel him there, trying to get him through the hospital to see her mother. So just a regular visit would take, I don't know, I guess an hour for us. This takes 3 for by the time that we get everyone together and see them and all this sort of stuff. So then at the course of the weekend, we found out actually, well, your mum was rushed into another hospital. So she went from the normal standard hospital to the A&E type thing with stomach pains. And subsequently we found out, or they found out, not us because we're not doctors, that Mrs. H's mum has a tumour.
Yes. So it seems she's in the later stages of cancer.
Yeah. So it's been a bit tricky the last week. And we're still trying to work out what that might mean. Now, she's not a young lady, your mum. Well, neither of us are young here, actually, but especially not your mum. So they don't know whether they can operate yet or whether they are literally going into palliative care. So as you can imagine, that's quite a lot to get our heads around. So we've been pretty much dealing with that, plus your illness.
Yeah.
Yeah, which has been like some sort of flu type thing, I think.
Yeah, I
Or
think
cold.
that's fair.
Some vague, man flu or something, I don't know.
Something feels desperate to finish me off like that.
Yeah, so it has felt a bit like a bit of another blow to us after all the stuff with Mrs. H's dad last year, and that's been going on into this year, of course, and just life being a bit generally shit. So on top of that, we also were told on the same day that Mr. Kitty's liver is going into liver failure. So yeah, it's been a not easy time.
Yeah, that's a fair summary.
Yeah, so that episode we did quite recently about
swinging in tough
times. We should be able to do one swinging in extremely tough times.
Very, very topical.
And swinging when life gets to kick you in the balls repeatedly.
But you know, this that's what life does to you, doesn't it?
Life
tests you.
Yeah, it tests you.
And you just have to kind of find your way. And it's all temporary. It won't be like this forever.
Well, life is only temporary. I mean, if we look at it that way.
Well, you don't know what's around the corner, do you?
But please don't tell me there's something else that's going to come and kick us in the balls after that. We're swiftly running out of parents and family members that can get ill. I mean, it's quite crazy. However, we have been able to have some moments of escape, and that's been really important because I've been doing my very best to prop Mrs. H up and keep her wrapped in as much cotton, as nice things and soft things as I can do. But we've also been able to catch up with some really amazing people. So in our last episode, we did a little bit of a feature with our good friends, the Diz Nerds.
Yeah. Oh, our little
Diz Nerds.
lexicon of terminology.
Yeah,
yes,
our lexicon of terminology.
It's nice to have a distraction.
So we were really lucky in that we were able to go away with them and spend some time in a little cottage in Wales. And that was really nice and really fun. However, we got to Sunday morning, and of course, there was another hospital call that we had to leave early for and go rushing back to our hometown. So
these moments are fleeting. So when you do get them, it's really, really nice to make the most of things.
Yeah. But what I do want to say is a huge thank you to them for putting up with us over the course of the weekend. It was really nice, a really good space for us, actually, because it let us forget about all the day-to-day stuff for at least an evening and a half. Which was really cool, and they're lovely people. So we're really looking forward to seeing them again at our social, which we're also plodding on with. So we have a very limited number of tickets available for the 28th of March, I believe it is. So
I think all this bad luck is a curse brought on by the demon horse head that you found in that cottage.
You think?
I do.
No. Nicodemus was, as I named him, a saint.
I think it was heavily cursed, and you shouldn't have touched it.
Maybe I shouldn't have touched it.
And now you brought all this bad juju on us.
I don't think you can say that.
I've just said it.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So in this place where we stayed, there was like a sort of Wicker Man style horse's head that had like a gown and glowing eyes. And my approach to it was either going to be scared of it and keep well away from it, or I was going to get drunk and make it my new best friend. So that's what I did. So if you want to go to Instagram,
you have to make out with it though.
Sticking my pin in its eye hole was probably a bit much.
It was a bit much having it share the bed with us.
It was, yeah. But yeah, if you want to see a picture of this weird skull thing,
cursed horse,
head to Instagram and check out our Instagram, and then you can see me having some horseplay with it.
It'll give you a new level of nightmare.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have touched it now. So we did that, and we were also what else did we do, dear?
I don't know. What else did we do?
What else?
Everything's a blur.
Everything's a blur. Where did we go on? What did we do on Friday?
On Friday. Has it been a Friday recently?
There was a Friday recently.
Okay, cool.
That we had and celebrated our swingiversary with His Cock, Her Tail.
Yes, we did.
With Lord Voldemort,
right.
Vanilla Ice. And that was really fun. And that was a really nice way of breaking up the shitty week that had been.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We did. Yeah. That was lovely.
That was cool.
It marked a year that we'd met those lovely people.
Yeah, so we did that. And then on the Saturday, the weekend just gone, we went to a regular birthday party.
Yeah, we did.
That makes it sound like it's a regular birthday party. Yeah, we have a weekly.
We went to a nice party.
A nice vanilla party. And we sung some karaoke. We got stuck in.
Yeah, before all the evil flu took hold of me.
Yeah, again. And what do we sing?
We sang some Tenacious D.
Which one?
FHG.
FHG.
And I believe we also sang some Green Day.
Yeah. Good riddance.
Yeah, which feels apt now.
Yeah. So we nailed that. That was fun. That was a nice bit of escapism.
Yeah.
The other thing that we did, or that we've been doing, oh, you're looking worried about this.
No, not worried. I just can't remember fuck all.
Well, you might recall, gentle listeners, that a few weeks back, that we told you that we have some exciting plans.
Oh, right. Yes, got you.
Oh, right. What's that then?
When life was slightly calmer.
When life was slightly calmer, we agreed to be filmed for a TV show.
Right.
So we had a crew with us for a whole day as part of a thing that's going out at some point later in the year. And then we went to a club and were filmed there.
Yes, we were.
So that was an interesting experience. So we're not going to talk too much about that at this point. We can't really reveal the details of it all. So, but with luck, we will look awesome on television and won't look like a complete pair of tits.
No, absolutely not.
That's our plan.
We will follow up on this in later episodes.
Yeah, to pick up on this and talk about what a strange experience it was having just people filming you washing dishes and walking the dog. I think Yoko's probably going to be the breakout star of this, quite frankly.
I think she'll get her own recording contract, frankly.
Do you?
Yeah, in the dog celeb world.
Really? Like a singer or a TV star?
No, like an actual TV star.
An actual TV star?
Actual dog TV star.
I don't think she can be contained to just television.
I mean, her ego is pretty up there.
I know, right? I mean, at first it was just stripping for her, but now it's like full on TV.
I warned you, you can't make me laugh. I'll just go into some paroxysm of absolute coughing. I'll never return from it.
Paroxysm of absolute coughing was my 7th studio album.
It was a bit of a flop, I'll be honest.
It was, yeah.
I'm not a fan.
No. The acoustic folksy covers.
Can't help feel that you can do better than that.
No, I know, right? So we did that. And before the television stuff,
yes,
or maybe midway, I can't remember. Time is kind of all blending into one messed up day. We also went to Nottingham and went to the Nottingham Social.
Yes, we did.
With our good friends who host it, Barney and Emma Stone.
Ah, yes.
So we went up there to see what it was like because we wanted to steal their secrets for our own social. But also, they're lovely people and it was great to see them and really nice just to socialise and chat to people.
Good networking opportunity.
Excellent networking opportunity. However, in true bedhoppers fashion, we didn't really speak to that many people.
I don't know. We spoke to a few.
Well, we spoke to a few. But what we did do is we took a mic with us and recorded some stuff, which is what you're going to find at the sort of second half of this episode. It's quite a lot of recording, actually. Just given the amount of stuff that we've got going on, we're not going to have much time to edit all of it. So I'm just going to take a massive audio shit in your ears.
You're just chucking it out
I'm just going to chuck it out there.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll hear some interesting things. So we talked to some really fascinating couples. Really nice to meet them and say hello to them. The problem is that we took them. There wasn't a quiet environment for us to do an interview with people.
No, not super quiet.
And also, as the interviews progress, we may be getting progressively more drunk.
We were pretty good bed hoppers this time. We didn't get super drunk.
No, we got
managed it.
Mostly drunk.
We got a bit merry.
So there's some really fascinating little sort of audio tidbits for you. So we speak to a couple where they're coming out of the lifestyle. We speak to another couple that are quite new. There's all sorts of little things going on there. Speak to the hosts of the event. It's
really interesting to understand people's sort of where they are at in their sort of respective, and I hate to say it, but journeys. Because, you know, everyone goes at different paces and everyone goes to these events with like different kind of agendas, I suppose, in mind. So it was interesting to hear the different perspectives and, you know, what people were taking away from that sort of gathering that night, what they hoped to get out of it and, you know, maybe what they were hoping to sort of follow up with different people they'd met.
I think for me, it was more the outrageous flirting that occurs. So if you're one of those people that don't like listening to other people flirt, then we're probably on the wrong show. But also that this gets quite bad, I think, depending on how much I cut out or keep in. So feel free to have a listen. It was a really good time. We had a really great social there. Those guys run a really nice tight ship.
Oh.
Yeah, tight ship.
Tight ship, eh?
Tight ship. And... yeah, some of the things you may not be able to hear that well because it is a noisy environment, and we're really sorry about that. There's sweet fuck all I can do about it, unfortunately. So you
I thought you were going to come up with some amazing kind of like workaround that people could do.
Oh yeah. So if you can't hear it, just listen harder.
Brilliant. Well, that helps.
The least good of all the Die Hard sequels.
Listen harder.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like a Daft Punk album.
Yeah, maybe. So that's been pretty much our time up to now since we last spoke to you. We're going to play the things in a minute, and then we'll come back at the end to talk a little bit more. Anything else you want to add, Mrs. H?
I feel like this might be my swan song, and I'm not coming back from this.
Oh, you'll be fine. And I would say that lots of our friends, much like we spoke about on our Swinging Tough Times, have been fantastic and
They've
really
rallied
supportive
round and been amazing.
Yeah, and even just the odd chat or Skype call or message online or whatever it might be, that's been really great, and people have been super kind and super lovely. So if you're one of those people, thank you. It does help. And what we would say is that whilst Mrs. H isn't always on the chat and isn't always able to participate because she's dealing with 152 other things, we do sit back and we do read those things together, and it's been really nice of you to help us and support us.
I feel like this might be the rock bottom, and
you'd love the rock's bottom.
I would love rock's bottom. The people's bottom. I think it can only get better, surely.
Well,
it can.
Yeah.
I say that.
It has a propensity to get worse as well. Yeah. I mean, it feels like we're playing a game of snakes and ladders at the moment. Every time we roll a dice, we land on a fucking snake. Not a fucking snake.
Oh my God. That's a weird image.
Snaky snake. And we go all the way back down to the start, and then we try again. So, but anyway, now that we've thoroughly depressed you, hear us getting drunk and flirting with people badly and generally trying to be hosts and interviewers, in a really weird situation. So hope you enjoy it. Thank you. So we are at the Unseen Lounge Social, which is Nottingham. We've come out and we've snuck out of the place. Snuck out and captured some people. We dragged them out unwillingly.
We're very willing. I had to buy them cocktails to come here.
Did you?
Yes.
This is a terrible situation. So we have a couple of lovely ladies, one of which is Emma Stone, who we've mentioned before.
We love Emma Stone. We really do.
I have loved.
We know. Let's not talk about your love with Emma Stone.
Okay.
This is strictly social.
Okay, this is strictly social. Should I be less touchy today?
Yes, please. Put your hands away.
Okay, I'm sitting on my hands quite literally.
Good. Brilliant.
I'm enjoying it. It's a fun experience for everyone.
Stop filling yourself up at the social.
I like the way she actually checked that just to make sure that I wasn't sitting on my actual hands. Anyway, welcome guys. So we thought we'd grab some people out of the social and ask you about your top tips for going to a social. Oh, I'm getting looks that suggest that they have not been prepared for this.
No one's ever prepared for
impromptu,
this. It's very impromptu.
This is the way we roll. So, what I'd like to know, or what we would like to know, since there's two of us here and not just me, is what are your top tips if you're going to social? How do you integrate yourselves? How do you chat to people?
How do you not sit on a sofa and ignore everyone?
How do you chuck a glass down loudly next to a microphone?
I did it just for you.
I would say, I'm not going to claim co-host, as my lovely other half is the one who is very much the organiser. However, being part of the hosting situation, it's very much the preamble, I'd say, helps. So we always set up a kit group which gets people chatting, and I find that helps people to kind of have that conversation beforehand and feel a bit more comfortable before they arrive. Second top tip is enjoy the cocktails. As we are very much doing right now. I'd say, a drink or two helps kind of loosen you up. That it does me anyway.
So for those of us, So for those of us that are slightly more science orientated, from naught to cunted, what should you be?
I would say around a 3. You don't want to be.
It's a scale of 1 to 3. You've gone quite high there.
You don't want to be completely cunted.
No, you don't want to be slurring and kind of embarrassed. But it's nice to feel a bit relaxed. That's my personal preference anyway. And that's as somebody who's been to a few now, help to organise, not really, but in terms of I've been named an organiser, so I should be responsible in some way. I think the last one is just kind of walk around the room and just talk to people. everyone's there for the same reason, in the same boat, and actually 9 times out of 10 people are lovely and they're great to have a chat to. So the extra kind of element we've added this time round, which has been a bit of fun, is to have some questions on tables. They've been mild, medium, spicy questions just to get people talking about elements of the lifestyle, which it's been quite nice to hear people laughing and talking.
I mean, I've told a lot of people how I feel about anal.
Oh
I don't know if it was one of the questions though.
Did you just pick up one of the spicy
How
cards
does
straight
Mr. H
away?
feel about anal?
He always feels very strongly about anal.
He feels so strongly.
You're always reminding me it's anal Monday, anal Wednesday, anal Friday, anal Saturday.
These are all the anal
Basically,
days.
Every day is anal day, you know.
Yeah.
I'm
Mr. H.
He's
so
always
glad
woefully disappointed.
that we've all
Unfortunately,
confirmed
there
this.
wasn't a question this time round, but I feel next time it will definitely be number one question.
It should be.
should be.
And our other mysterious guests who we're yet to give a nickname to, but we probably will do during the course of our...
Because we always do. It's the thing. We
Yeah.
give you a nickname. You'll love it. How will you feel about
How
it?
you do in the next 3 minutes.
No pressure. The next few minutes are going to determine what we call you.
So, how do you cope with the social? What's your game plan?
How do I cope? So far, really badly.
Oh, really?
Oh, you talk to us. You've done great.
Yeah, you guys have been really good.
Thank you.
Really nice.
It's because it's anal Saturday.
It's literally loosened you up.
And we have delicious marmalade cocktails.
They
so
are
good.
super
So
delicious.
good.
Breakfast martinis on the way forward.
Yes.
But you're not drinking tonight, right?
So I have to say that is pretty hardcore. I don't think I would be able to cope, so I really admire
So
you.
how are you coping with sobriety at a social?
It's interesting. I'm looking at all of the cocktails and really wanting all of the cocktails just to work my way through the menu. Yeah, it's odd.
Yeah.
There was a moment in there.
Do you wish
where
you
they
were
asked me
having a
questions
little
and I was
drink?
just like, different.
Yeah. Okay.
So you don't have to go home, right?
Long pause.
Heavy
Well, that felt awkward.
in the air.
So glad I threw that out there.
Aren't you glad it's anal Saturday?
Yeah. For whom? Is it me or you?
We haven't decided yet.
Okay, it's a roll of the dice, flip of the coin. We'll be fine.
Depends how many more marmalade cocktails I have.
Okay. So, in a social environment, chatting to people, talking to people, getting to know them a bit more, what else can we offer? Any top tips?
What you personally offer?
Not what I can offer. I think we've all realised what I can offer, which is practically nothing. So, Anal Saturday, yeah.
Anal Saturday or nothing.
It's a great conversation starter. Excuse me, how do you feel about Anal Saturday?
I'm going to move along now.
Yeah, no one has answered me thus far on that one yet.
I think you'll get someone at some point going, yes, I've been waiting all night for this.
This is what I've heard. This is what I'm waiting for. This is the moment that I have been
Your
clearly.
signature move.
It's the signature. It's my only move. I've got no backup.
Wait, what was the question again?
So what? Okay, right. Okay. So
Too many marmalade
all
cocktails.
distracted by
I know,
anal
really.
Saturday.
I know. I just had like anal in the brain there. You know.
I don't blame you. It's fine. So
Brainal.
brain.
Oh, sorry, word smash.
So we're at a social event. Some of us have had drinks, some of us haven't. So moving yourself around the room is one of the top tips that we've had. We've also had just sort of trying to cope with life, getting out and talk. What else can we do to chat to people and make sure that we're integrating and having a good thing? Because I found I go to a social and quite often I sit back and I lean there with Mrs. H and we become part of our own world and we just laugh at everything else
We're
that's
just
going on.
wallflowers.
Yeah.
We don't get involved.
Help us. What can we do?
How do we get involved?
Teach me.
Yes.
I know
teach
it's a
us.
tricky one because I'm almost on the other side. I've only actually experienced one other social that I wasn't part of the hosting of, and in that particular one, again, I think I just gravitated towards people that I found that maybe I would have some common interests, either, you know, whatever it might be. So, for example, this lady we were chatting to had got a red wine, and then we were just chatting about wine, and then it got on to other you know, conversations, as you do.
So again,
thought
this
finding
could
some
work
kind of
for me
common
though.
interest.
I like this. This is almost like the Rick Mail. That's a lovely blouse you have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just something. I mean, I think it's like any situation, whether in a bar or if you're in a club, whatever you are, you find something that you might find people attractive. You might just find those people interesting. There was a lady earlier that just had an interesting drink, and I said, "Oh, what are you drinking?" Just to kind of start that conversation. So, I think it's just remembering that although this is a lifestyle event and it is a social, people are people, and it's just the normal things that you would do. It's not anything different from just being in a social environment.
Yeah.
But actually, people here will be perhaps more open to chat with you. And
My
I think
shoes
it's
have
remembering
started
that.
conversations tonight.
Have they?
Yeah,
I'm sure they have, because
Yes.
they're fabulous shoes.
Thank you.
They are fabulous.
So there's a top tip for you, Mr. RH. Wear something that you know will get a conversation started. So for me, I wore some interesting shoes that started a little conversation, and then I got my purse out, which is Star Wars.
Not a euphemism, right?
Shush. I mean, rarely I get my purse out. However, did, and then that started a conversation as well, because people were like, "Oh, I like your purse. It's got Star Wars in it."
I think it also depends on what, not that you've got an agenda as such, but some people might come to a social because genuinely they want to meet people who they want to
Yes.
play with. However, some people want to meet people genuinely, they just want to chat with. And that was our agenda, if you like, when we first started this, was because we moved to a new area of the country, and we were aware that how as an adult do you make friends, and what hobbies do you have? And this is a big hobby of ours. So we realised quickly that we want to meet other people in their life that actually are just fun people and we want to hang out with. And very luckily, we have met some genuinely lovely friends, people that we play with, people that we don't play with, but just have a common interest. So I think it depends on what agenda you come in with. If you want to play, you seek out people who you find attractive and perhaps find a reason to talk to them. However, if you want to just meet people as friends, you find something interesting. So, for example, I like your shoes, or your drink looks fun.
Yes.
So, I think that's what it depends on.
So, you
So I'm making a mental note here. I
Spot
like
some
your
people.
shoes. I want to have anal.
You literally have
Your
a
shoes
one-track
suggest you
mind.
like anal.
Your
Yes.
shoes look like you want to have anal tonight. Lucky for you, it's anal Saturday, and it's 2-for-1 cocktails.
Sounds like a win.
All the moons are aligning for me now.
You're in for a good night, Mr. Rock.
This is very good. So we've all had the chat. We've all got to know each other. How do we progress things? What do we say? Yeah. How do we? So say we want to move things to the next level. How do we say that? How do we do it?
Interesting. I think being someone who's been alive for a while, you kind of get a vibe. So you'll be having a fairly maybe innocent conversation with people.
Can I
and
just
then
clarify?
something-
By a
sorry.
vibe, you don't mean a literal vibrator, right?
Oh, well, that would be extra fun, but have you got one?
I've got 3, but you just haven't noticed.
Of course you have. No, I think it's that a certain conversation may flow if people are finding each other attractive, which would happen anywhere. And then from there, a lot of people at socials have got hotels or live nearby, and it's almost that conversation of, what are you doing afterwards? Are you going to a club? Are you going, back to your hotel? That is almost a leading question, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it
Whereas
is.
if you're maybe not so interested, it might be, I need another drink, and see you later.
Or
So-
I'm driving home tonight.
I'm driving home.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
This is why she's been saying it all night. I'm driving home.
Yes.
Hang on. So she's been saying that she's driving home to a number of people, but to 1 or 2 people, she's been saying she's drinking. It's a fun party night all night.
Hey, I got the nice shoes conversation. I'm just saying.
Really? I just got
Yeah.
that I can't hear what those other people are saying. Conversation.
I even called around.
Feeling so let down. Whereas I just got stuck with Alan Partridge for a while,
Oh, yeah,
which
you
is fine.
did. We're so sorry.
Oh.
And this is the thing, just because you're at a social event doesn't mean that everyone's going to find everybody interesting and attractive. However, it is about meeting like-minded people. Yes, not everyone's going to be a cup of tea, so yes, that's something to bear in mind.
Okay, so to round it up, before we move on to our next...
And I've run out my marmalade cocktail.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so nice.
It's very nice, and we've all agreed on that. Before we move on to our next special guest, who you've managed to siphon out of the place... we're calling people over. This is interesting. This is going
We'll
marvellous.
have to wait in line.
Waving by. Okay, we're reporting things as they happen. It's on the scene here. So,
What's your last question?
but my last
I'm
question.
intrigued.
So, for people entering the lifestyle,
Yes.
what's your your top tip? You're about to jump in and get started. What do you do? What's your thing?
Oh, interesting. I think, I've come from the couple perspective. I know you guys have mentioned this before, but I think communication is absolutely the most important thing. As a couple, you need to be communicating how you feel, what you want, that's important. I mean, if the root of it, if you as a couple are not gaining something from this, then it's not for you, whatever route you take. However, I can't speak for the single community. I'm coming in from a different perspective, but that would be my top tip.
Okay, special guest. Hello. Your top tip for people entering the lifestyle. What would you say?
Spend time with people like your good selves that will kind of just help you integrate and speak to people.
Okay.
Because I can imagine if I was turning up literally on my own, that would be brave and horrifying. Equally.
It's brave and horrifying turning up the two of you. Yeah.
Recommendation.
But it's one of those things, actually. You do kind of end up jumping in feet first, and we found this a number of times. And we kind of, even together, we love the adventure. But actually, there is a bit of nervousness around, oh, shit, we don't know anyone that's here. Let's jump into this place and see what's going to go on. But actually, I think there's something to be said about the love of the roll of the dice. You don't know what you're going to get out of it. And that's quite fun. That's quite exciting to go, there might be something where we can find people that we can play with. There might be sexy people. There might be a bunch of people that you'd never, ever want to see again. But actually, that thrill of not knowing can be amazingly fun.
Well, myself and Emma Stone had a good chat earlier over a marmalade cocktail.
All right.
And we were just saying, actually, even now, after their sort of like 11, 12 years in the lifestyle, even now they're finding new things, new kind of boundaries, new avenues they can explore together, which keeps it all really interesting. And it may be that you try it and it's not for you and you move on and you decide not to revisit it. Or it may be that you try something new and you think, oh, here's a new dimension of something we've not tapped into before. And I think that's one of the things that the lifestyle gives you, the opportunity to safely explore new things together.
Oh, fantastic. All right, well, thanks for joining us, guys. We're going to get the next round of guests in, see if we can coerce them.
You were going to say next round of cocktails.
This is awkward.
I was at the bar for like 82 minutes. It's your turn.
No, it's not. I'm doing this bit, the microphone bit. It's fine.
Oh, this is your thing, right?
Yeah, this is my thing. It's I just sit here and you bring people to
You're
me.
You're going to get minions to go to the bar for you.
Yes, wenches. In fact, Emma Stone, fetch me a drink.
Oh, goodness.
And in fact, can I just say, dear listeners, he already has a drink and a half.
He does. He actually has an untouched cocktail.
Whereas, Mrs. H, you definitely need a drink.
I know.
Okay, all right, let me try this again.
Cocktail.
Emma Stone,
Yes.
please be a good girl and fetch Mrs. H another drink.
Oh, I'm a good girl, am I?
Only if you fetch the drink. So we have an additional 2 people that we've dragged out of the social. Thank you guys for joining us and sitting in I would say recording studio, but really it's just a table that we hoiked out of the social. Mrs. H apparently has a question.
Thank you. Well, you've built it up now.
Yes, no pressure.
All right, so I found out that this lovely couple were already in my lifestyle when they met. All right, so my question was around emotion and jealousy, and given that you met in the lifestyle, has your approach to sharing and jealousy changed?
Yes, drastically.
Yes. So my question was more around you're used to being in the lifestyle and what that brings with it in terms of sharing and all that, but now you're a couple.
When we first decided to make it, before we even decided to make it official, we did sit down and actually discuss ground rules, and it was very much a case of obviously both of us have to be in agreement to whoever we played with.
Yeah, they're flexible obviously throughout the time we've been together.
Well, yeah, and it's always been a case
there's
of
a basis there.
Yeah, it's like if I've gone off to the clubs on my own, it's always been a case of I've told him before anything's happened.
Yeah, so you've got free reign on women because that's just hot, and there's a limit on how many gentlemen, because knowing a lot of people in the scene, especially the clubs that we go to, there's a select few that I would prefer over the others. When it comes to gentlemen with women, I just like to hear the stories.
Okay. That's interesting.
So you don't like hearing the stories of the guys, just the...
I like a brief picture, but you know what I mean? I'm not
Literally a brief picture, snapshot.
I'm not going to get much from it, to be honest.
No.
As long as she enjoys herself and she's safe, I'm not too.
Yeah, I mean, I only ask because lots of couples maybe happen across the lifestyle after years of being together, maybe, and they kind of get into a lifestyle maybe after, you know, having a relationship on their own, and then they kind of talk about it and decide what lifestyle can do for them.
I think this was partly down to me because we met in the lifestyle anyway,
Yes.
we met at the swingers bar. But I was quite forthright with my past and numerous sexual partners that I've had. And I specified that I think if we weren't monogamous or we stopped the lifestyle, the relationship would not last very long.
So you had no kind of plans to make it a purely monogamous kind of relationship. You wanted to carry on with the
Yeah,
what you
so
do.
we've been together sort of a year and a half.
Year and a half.
Roughly.
So it was like when we first got together, it was very much a case of right, these are the ground rules, this is what we're going to do.
But my
in the
longest
last year, it's
relationship
kind of
before... Yeah, my long relationship before for us was, I think, it was about 2-3 months.
Okay.
It was very little, and it was more of an infatuation fling rather than a relationship. And obviously working at a swingers bar Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, and the experiences that gave you, to then going into what would be looking at as one person for numerous years, forever, that I don't think I could do that. So, to be fair, since we've been together, we've not played with that many people. We've tried.
We've kind of been going through that honeymoon phase.
Yeah. So you give me permission to play with one person, obviously outside by myself. That brought its own stresses, things to it. So we probably wouldn't go down that route again.
Interesting.
It's
okay.
more.
Well, probably not just yet, because that was quite early on in the relationship.
Yeah. And I didn't know what the sort of rules were and stuff like that. And it was, to be honest, it was a bit of a mess. But I think as we go on, we find more people, more experiences, and we learn from that, and we see where we go. Obviously, we meet people that we play with, and then that gives us more experience anyway. And then obviously we just keep carrying on.
Yeah, 'cause we have kind of spoken a few times about going poly.
Yeah.
But then haven't really like, well, we could, but haven't really.
Only
met
if they
the
wanted
right
to clean the
person.
house for us.
That would be amazing.
Polygrams 101.
So like polymate.
Polymate.
It does some. But I mean, it's one of the when it comes to polyamorous, another boyfriend is daunting to me, and I'm sure another girlfriend is daunting to Terry. But it'd be attractive obviously for the counterpart for whatever reasons. But I think swinging in general, just the supplement that other people give us. Not to sound crude, but it's kind of like a wash of the palate. So obviously after so long, sort of kind of just getting just getting used to each other, and then after getting used to each other, it starts to get sort of on the familiar. You can then change it up with other people, and then from that, obviously afterwards, it's pretty much gives us a new sex life after that. It is kind of like a refresh.
There are the ground rules that we do stick to.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the foundation, really. So as long as we stick to these,
the whole point of it is honesty. Because as soon as you lose that, then you pretty much lose the lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you're not trustworthy in one aspect, how can you be trustworthy as a couple playing with other people? How can you be trustworthy by yourself and all that sort of stuff? So that is the major thing. It's probably from a different perspective, because we met each other in a lifestyle and our relationship's quite young. That is sort of the stress that we've put on each other of how we continue.
Okay. So you've come out tonight for a social.
Yeah.
So quite a lot of people that listen will be going for their first social ever, turning up, a bit nervous. What's your top tips?
This is our first.
This is your first social.
We tried to come to another one, but the issues at home prevented that.
Yeah. We know that feeling well. This is our third attempt to get to this very social.
This particular social, although we've been to socials before.
Unfortunately, as Jeff Goldblum says, finds a way. And we finally made it here this time. Yeah. Jeff Goldblum is amazing. And
so I'm interested, actually, are your expectations of a social that it is obviously a social with no play, but are your expectations that you hope it would go to something more afterwards?
Yeah,
it's like any time that you go to club or privately, nothing's ever for definite. It's always it's always you see how the night goes.
Happens.
Yeah, so
it's like obviously when you do socials with people that you've done before, then you kind of get a glimpse into what's going to happen. When it's with a room full of new people that you haven't met, it's a whole this is new.
That's what I mean. So you arrange a private meet, and obviously all the conversation beforehand could be great, and then when you actually come to it, I mean, some people don't go through it, some people just don't turn up, and so on. So you take it with a pinch of salt. So you arrange it, you don't plan your night around it, and what will be will be. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes when you come face to face, there's just going to click. You might be good friends with them, but you just don't have that urgency.
The spark,
So
we tend to take quite a laid-back approach when it comes to socials.
Yeah, I mean,
tend to go with.
I mean, there's many times we've been to a club. I mean, the club that I used to work at, there's plenty of times we've been there, and we've turned up ready to play, but then there's no one that takes your interest. So we have a chat with people, we have a few drinks, we go home, and you know what I mean. So you can never guarantee or be for certain what's going to happen.
So an open mind.
Yeah, pretty
Definitely.
much.
It's a tricky one because you kind of go in with the impression that you want to meet people that are awesome, but you need to manage your expectations that actually the chances are that
You may go home just on your own.
People. We cannot stand it. Like, my job means I have to manage people.
I have to manage intelligent people apparently that really are.
Yeah, so we're quite introverted in honesty in our day-to-day lives, but it's just when we come out we can sort of put the face on and talk to people. But then there are those people that you actually do get along with, and they're the people that you continue talking to. The rest are just people that you meet. It's like that in every walk of life, really. You meet people that you get along with for work because you have to, and then there's some people you actually like. So I mean, some people on sports teams that you always like, you hate, and then you have to work with them. So it's no different from any walk of life, apart from at the end you might have the dick out.
So, well, the insight then this evening: has there anyone taken your eye? Has anyone caught the eye?
There has been a few people for both of us that's kind of went, actually.
Okay.
We've not had a chance to cross-reference yet or talk to them, but.
Do you have a signal, like?
Not really. It's usually I'll get poked in the ribs and go, "Oi, what about that one?"
Yeah.
So
not with a finger either.
No, so I'm
a very rudimentary system then. All right.
I'm a massive Bum fan, so anytime that somebody catches my eye, I'm like, she loves women as much as I do, but that's a nice bum. She's like, yeah, that's a nice bum.
Yeah, we do have quite good conversations about women.
Yeah.
So in my mind, what I'm seeing is like a RoboCop like scanner. I'm going to do the crosshairs like.
Yeah, you prove that you have your scanner.
I'm the type of person that likes to people watch.
Okay.
So I will sit there and I'll watch everybody in the room and pick out different characteristics from everyone, and I'll tell him, he'll be like, yeah, whatever. Okay.
Yeah, I can't.
So that's part of the fun of the socials, though. Just people watching is always good fun, isn't it?
To be fair, I don't. My way of looking at it is, if you're not attractive, why bother?
Yeah.
Absolutely, I
agree.
You've got to have
a good
something
personality
there.
and everything else, but then they're just friends, aren't they?
Yeah.
So if there's that attraction, then you go over and talk to them, and then if. I mean, that's normally when the attraction fades away.
Yeah, see, that's just the psychologist in me, though. I like watching people.
Yeah, but you're weird. Like, I've got better shit to do.
People watching is great. I am with you on that.
I've actually got a degree in psychology, so I love people watching.
I thought you were going to say you had a degree in people watching.
People watching. There's such a degree exists.
It could count. Frankly, it could count.
Yeah, having arguments is fun.
No, I do love that. I agree. It's what makes people tick.
But it's fascinating because you turn up, you don't know what you're going to get. So it's always a roll of the dice, isn't it? Because it's a chance.
That's the attraction of it. Because you look at a relationship and obviously someone that you spend a lot of time with, eventually you're going to get to a point where it's you know what's coming up, you know like, how you both operate, you know how you're both going to be. So the lifestyle, like I say, when it supplements it, it gives you that sort of anomaly where you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know how it's going to be, you don't know how it's going to turn out, and then sometimes it can be really good, and then you both get really horny, and you get horny afterwards, and everything else is good. Other times it can be a bit scary, and then even that, to be fair, is a little bit of a rush.
So we had an experience with a couple that's actually here tonight. It was our first social meet together. We went out for a couple of drinks, and then we ended up back at your place. and this couple didn't leave until 5-6 o'clock in the morning.
Fucking ruined.
We had so much fun. It was like we played.
I'm
card
glad you
games.
added that you had so much fun. It was like in my head, I was like, they wouldn't leave until 5 and 6 in the morning. We tried, we pushed them up, we gave them a hint.
We started off with card games, and then we kind of went upstairs to the bedroom. Like 5 hours later, I was like, we really need to go.
To be fair, as swingers, we've not had a bad experience, but I think that is down to, because we don't like people, we tend to be quite a good judge of people.
Yeah.
Whereas when I was single, I would not purposefully, not purposely, I put myself in potentially dangerous situations because it was a rush.
Well, I think, we've been there for sure, and I think a lot of our early adventures were just chucking ourselves into a situation
See
because
what happens,
the idea of it was exciting rather than the actual people. And then before you knew it, you're there trying to call social services because things have gone horrendously wrong. And we talk about fucking things up and making mistakes quite a lot, and actually
because it happens.
It does, and sometimes if your judgment isn't there or your experience isn't there, you kind of just go, right, let's go for this, let's see what these people are like, and then after 3.5 minutes you're like just hitting the emergency text message.
Well, that's before you start looking at private meets, and it's always probably better to start off at clubs because it's public. Even though obviously everyone's into lifestyle, it is public. You've got people there. Obviously you've got the staff, the barman, whoever. And obviously it's not privatised, so you could be in a common area.
Start somewhere social.
You know what I mean? You've got a common area, especially for someone who's single, going female, male. You get a lay of the land, you find out how it works, and then obviously you work your way through the lifestyle. But it's always better to build a ground of friends in the lifestyle who you can know and trust. Who can potentially guide you or give you advice, but then obviously making friends means that they'll probably introduce you to their friends, you'll introduce to them, and you'll always come across some people who hit it off with, and you might make that into a long-lasting sort of relationship. It might just be a one-off. You eventually get your foot in, and it works.
It's a tricky balance though, because going to a club as a brand new person is fucking frightening.
It is scary.
I
agree.
With regards to that, I've been to 2 clubs. One was absolutely ginormous. It was absolutely so big that walking in.
What are you talking about? Sorry.
Walking in by myself.
You can say the club if you want to.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah. We reviewed a lot of
I went
clubs.
to the attic.
Okay.
By
I haven't
myself.
been there yet, but yeah.
And it is so big for a single woman walking into a place that could hold 3-4 people in a night. For me, I just got lost. I was like, this is too big for me. There's too many people here. Because obviously, my mind then kicks into over, oh, what if this happens? What if this happens? I'm by myself. I just could not settle. I was there for a total of an hour before I left.
Oh, hang on. What about her?
I can actually see a bum,
I
but
don't care, I can.
which one?
The one in the black or blue, dark navy blue.
So for listeners, a couple of ladies
momentary diversion
just
while we
walked
checked
past,
out the
yeah.
arse of
Yeah.
someone. Right.
I'm sorry, I never switch off.
Sorry. So yeah, the attic for me, as a single person, it's too big.
Yeah.
If you were to go with a group of people that you know, then it might be a completely different aspect.
So for listeners, whereabouts is the attic?
It's in Derby.
Derby.
We haven't been.
Thank you very much, guys, for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So we have got JD and the Ice Queen with us that we have seconded from the social. We've brought them out here, and they look like they're really happy to chat on the microphone. They're both looking like they're really ready for that. So what we're going to do is ask them a couple of questions.
Yes.
Hopefully they'll give us some words that we can use.
We look like rabbits in headlights at the moment.
Yes,
But it's fine.
quite possibly.
We'll loosen them up.
We're quite used to this. They are not, clearly. Mrs. H, you've got a question.
I do have a question. All right. Okay. So, can I ask? Is this your first social, or have you been to lots of socials before?
This is my first year.
This is your first social. Okay. And yourself?
Not first.
Not first. All right. Okay. So I think our question is around expectations versus reality, maybe. So what are your expectations about what a social is and what you're hoping to get from it?
Personally, it'd be nice to just meet some new like-minded people. Potentially friendship going further than tonight. And just having fun, being out with friends, boyfriend.
So this isn't your first rodeo. What are your expectations from the social?
This is our first very local social.
Right, okay.
Previously we went to Bristol.
Oh, we've been to the Bristol Social, yeah.
That was really nice.
Could you actually hear anybody at the Bristol Social?
Very loud. Very loud.
Because you can't fucking hear anything at the Bristol Social.
So loud. You can't hear anything.
Hang on.
So-
Actually, what you heard, if we were to do this interview at the Bristol Social, you'd hear uns, uns, uns,
Yeah,
uns,
it's so loud.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's a little of that.
I remember I just switched off and Ice Queen did the all talking. I was just smiling.
I did the same. I was like, oh, I can't hear you. I'm so sorry.
No, you just smile, laugh, check buddy.
I feel like she's checking me out as we're
I
talking.
even stopped staring at ladies' boobs. That was just too much for me.
Oh my god.
I'm good.
You know it's a bad situation when you've stopped staring at ladies' boobs. I found that actually having a pad that I could write down what I was trying to say
So
and showing
mime
it to
what's
people and
going
miming
on.
what's going on. So pretty much I was just doing that to everybody. Well, you can't see it.
No
so
one
I'm putting-
can actually see that.
No, I know.
This is like
this
a
is
finger
great
going
medium
into
for a
a hub. All right,
podcast.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've been experiencing the social. This is your first one.
Yes.
So as the newbie, we're going to pick on you.
Yeah.
Sorry. What was your expectation turning up? What did you think?
What? I came with a very open mind. I didn't really form any kind of opinion or what I wanted or what I think it might be like. It's
Okay.
a nice setting, obviously, which
Yes.
is always nice.
Nice.
What do you want to add?
No real expectations other than the fact that I'm pretty sure I know more than one person in here from prior to this. Got a random message of someone about an hour before we came out, sending a picture of me and a friend from an event we went to last week, going, "Oh, so it's a small world."
Oh,
All right.
nice.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
And, I'm pretty sure there's someone else in the group chat who I used to work with about a decade ago who...
It is a small world, you're right.
It is. But I don't mind. But some people think it's going to be awkward. And don't say why it's awkward. It's just it's no different to meeting you in the street when you're out shopping somewhere.
It's only awkward if it's a family member and you fuck them.
I didn't realise.
True. So awkward.
It's happened to me about 7 or 8 times. It's an awful situation.
It's so awkward.
Depends how good it was.
Yeah.
So what's your
Great for me.
expectation? What's your expectation from tonight then? Are you hoping it will lead to like a gateway thing, like lead to more, or
Yeah, potentially future people to
Yeah.
meet.
Or-
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and as the dab hand over here, we refer to
Yes.
the Ice Queen. So you've been to a few socials before. So is this kind of what you expect? What's your game plan when you're going to a social?
Most of the time, so we like to see people because when you are online, you can't feel people.
No, quite literally, in fact.
Yeah.
I've tried feeling them online. It doesn't work.
It's so important just to like meet people and
Yes.
feel is there anything or not. I think what we kind of found out that a good thing what to do is sometimes it's very loud, yeah, like Exeter Social.
Yes.
Exeter Social with the second
Yes.
one. We're going further and further. It's just to have business cards with you that you can share contact information. Unfortunately, we don't have today, but usually we are taking out.
so it's like we can't hear you. Here's a card.
Yeah, like we like.
Yeah, basically, if you like my boobs, text me.
Text us if you like my boobs, if you like my ass, text us phone number.
We did that all the way on the drive up. I mean, we've come from the south coast, and literally Mrs. H has had her boobs pressed against the window with a text us if you want
This
to.
is not true. This is fake news. Fake news, I tell you.
You can't back that
Why
up
do I
at
not
all.
believe Mrs. Why do I believe this stuff? I don't know.
It's because I have an honest face.
Oh, you really do.
It is true.
You could tell anyone anything. And
So tell us a bit about your journey. So how long have you been in the lifestyle? Do you want to start?
What are we on, about a year?
More.
Yeah, maybe. No, it's over 2 years, actually.
Over 2 years?
Yeah.
Well, that escalated from a year very quickly.
Yeah, life is a blur.
Additional 50%.
Yeah.
It's just been so many cocks since then.
It's been in and out.
No, I just remember we've been in our flat for 2 years, and it was before we moved. So.
Okay, fair enough. How about you guys?
2.5.
2.5. Okay.
We're just very quick, and adventurous to explore new things. So we just jumped in and tried all different things.
So I'm intrigued. What do you like about a lifestyle? What has it done for you?
I think it's good for our relationship in that it means we can be more open with each other and about what we want, and we're not like the jealous type, which is quite good.
That helps.
Just spices things up every now and then a bit, I guess.
It's fun.
Okay.
Get to hang out with new people that previously you wouldn't have perhaps met through
These two,
work
for
or
example.
anything else. Yeah.
How about you guys? What's the lifestyle done for you?
What's your highlight?
There's a lot of thought going on here, by the way.
Because it's not like so easy. It's not just about fun. We actually found ourselves and
Okay.
Each other in our relationship. It's a very long story. But,
Yeah, but it did a major impact to us as a couple. It kind of improved our relationship by 100%, but now currently it starts to ruin it a little bit. So we're gonna, after this event next weekend, we're gonna take a little break off. We're gonna find again why do we need this? Because we're not on the same page anymore. It's not like just fucking. It's something more. It's like you said, it's lifestyle, and it started to affect us lately badly.
Okay.
It gave us like a super positive impact, and lately it's just one fucked up after another. And Ice Queen said we have to stop, and I'm very like.
Damn.
So yeah, we're gonna stop a little bit. She in a car driving here to Nottingham, she said, "I want to hear a proof from you that we can quit swinging, and you're still gonna love me. That you don't need me just for this." And to be honest, I even hesitated to say, "Oh yeah, babe, yeah, we could do this like straight away." It's like we take this very seriously, and we value the positive effects, and we are ready to face what's going to happen to us after. Because we were like a super bright stars. We fucked a lot. We had like super amazing experiences, but it doesn't work for us anymore as a couple. So we're gonna think about everything twice and see what we're gonna do.
just reflecting our emotions.
Yeah. We'll see what we're gonna do next. Maybe it's gonna be like Nordic walking, just dancing, some pottery song. I don't know. But fingers crossed, we're still gonna go on with fucking. But it's for us. We take it as a couple, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, you know, that's very insightful, though, and I love the fact that you recognise you have to take a hiatus from it and just reevaluate where you're going. That's really, really
We've been
good.
together 20
Yeah, we're very.
years.
Yeah. We're since school.
So we've been in all kind of situations in our lives.
Okay.
Even these guys, they're like very good friends of us, but they are tricky for us because play-wise, we don't know. We're confused with them, and to be honest,
We're two good friends now.
and we don't know where to put our effort more.
Okay.
Swingers world or like vanilla, but like as a good friends because we like them a lot, and it's also going to be a challenge for us.
It's a tricky world, isn't it? Because sometimes you meet those couples that become your best friends or your really good mates in this world, and there becomes a sort of, it's not polyamory, but it's not.
It gets close.
It's blurry.
We can't afford this.
Yeah, and it's more than just regular, just turn up and fuck someone, but it's less.
But these guys are not the case.
Yeah, but it's less than that. So it's a tricky balance to find and get that right. But
You know what? I remember asking you only a week ago, like, if I ever said I don't want to do this anymore, would you still be okay? Would we still have a good relationship?
Oh, it's a tricky...
Because that's always really important at any point. If we pull the plug on what we do,
you both need to feel the same, don't
you? Can you go back to essentially a monogamous way of life?
And I think...
And not regret that you're not
guys,
having
don't
something?
you think it's easy to lose your fuck buddies or swinger buddies?
Yeah.
But when you have something like more, I don't know, human relationship, and you don't want to fucking give up to people like that, and you look at them differently, and sometimes we don't have often this situation, but sometimes we do, and I don't know what we're gonna do.
I think you have to be incredibly careful, because essentially you're all dealing with emotion, and try as you might, sometimes you go into these things not feeling like you're going to enter into an emotional relationship, but you end up actually forming connections that do have lasting impacts on you. So I think it's really important that you recognise that you end up sometimes having emotional attachments to things.
I agree. I think there are really strong bonds, and I think you say, and I don't say this lightly, you sail very close to polyamory and love with your friends, but actually it doesn't quite get there, and there's this weird space in between where everything's fun and sexy and still can be okay, but actually to step away from that is quite tricky.
You actually feel like, can I step away from this?
Yeah.
Because some couples give you the feels.
Yeah, some couples
like,
really do.
undeniably, you get like, oh, this is more. And it's not love, but actually there's more.
Very strong. We had like bad experiences with this, and we're very strongly against that. We're cutting immediately when we notice that something like this is going on.
And
we cut it.
Yeah,
Even doesn't matter how much we like them or not, we cut it.
Yeah.
And with this couple, for example, we have something similar, but we decided not to cut it, but to play it differently.
Yes.
To navigate it.
Yeah, because we're not letting this into dangerous whatever situation. And it's like experiment for us. We don't know where it's going to lead.
So is it?
We're standing like super good friends, but actually what's going on? We don't know.
He just stole your wallet. You didn't see it. It was a terrible situation.
I don't care about that.
I mean, we all saw it, but right.
I'll get back to you later.
Yeah. So how do you?
Don't spend too much.
So how do you navigate that? It was just his hand in his pocket. That's what it was.
Because we found something else what's in common. It's not like just sex.
No.
We found it's music, the time, the approach to life.
When we first met, that was the last thing we were expecting.
Yeah. Because you don't, do you? You don't go into it thinking this is going to end up impacting me emotionally.
The sort of music, I say lifestyle, it's not lifestyle, but the sort of music that we like and the sort of life that we lead, you know, we're not your traditional mid-30s, we still go out quite a bit, we still sort of get on it and go to raves, whatever you want to call them. That's a very, very specific sort of people that like that kind of music, and the last thing we expect to go to something like this is meet people that share not only those interests but everything that comes with it. They came around the first night and it was we're doing it, and then just got on. And then since then,
that's true.
I mean, we've probably met up a dozen times, and
we celebrated New Year's Eve
7 or 8
together.
of those times were just meeting up, music, get on it, have some fun, not fun, you know, but sort of vanilla fun. And that wasn't what we were expecting, but
that's half the split there, isn't it? When you can have just fun, or you can get on with each other, and sometimes there is a dial up to 11 and there's the extra fun. Or sometimes you're spending time with each other's kids. There's these weird relationships that you end up with that you never ever expected, and we've done that. We've turned up to friends' houses, and you know we've played with them, and it's great. And all of a sudden we're having a Nerf fucking battle with their children because
you don't expect
you don't. I've got rid of our own kids. Like now we're like firing bullets at each other, and but
you don't expect it.
You don't, and that's it's completely out of nowhere, and it happens at a random time.
Yeah, it's uncharted waters, and I don't suppose anyone can truly say oh no, polyamory is not for me and polycules, no, but actually it might hit you at the
There's
blue.
a
You
space
just
in
don't know.
between, I think.
There
There's
is.
kind of like swingers and there's polyamory, and somewhere in between there's this really good friend with
zone.
benefits thing that exists.
I
That's
agree.
kind of neither here nor there. It's not that you live with each other and you have an explicit relationship and you all see each other every 2 days, but whatever it is.
But when you do meet up.
but when you do meet up, there's a level of comfort. And we've had those relationships with people where we literally say, let's have a Netflix and chill day. Let's all go under a duvet and chill out. And
But isn't that code for?
Somebody else.
well, it can be.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So, but you,
I know
yeah.
the game.
Do you still have those relationships?
Yeah, we do. We still have some of those relationships. They've been so. Some of them are,
For us,
but it can be tricky. Sometimes they fade out, and they do. Sometimes those relationships disappear as time goes on because the investment is very difficult or the distance is very tough. But sometimes those relationships stay in play.
And sometimes you feel threatened by them.
Absolutely.
You get the warning signs where you're like, actually, this is getting too close to home for me, and I don't want something to come along and threaten my bubble. And my bubble is very important to me because I want to always feel like I'm number one in Mr. H's world. And if someone else comes along and threatens
but
that,
at that moment you start to compete,
Yes.
which is unhealthy.
Yeah.
you then need to
And
go away and think,
We
am I
decided we don't need that.
okay with
No,
this?
I think if you're competing and you feel like you're competing
Then
for
you-
your other half's
you have to
attention,
go away and
then you're
think
probably in the
about
wrong
it, yeah.
situation.
Isn't that natural?
To a certain extent, I think it can be, but I think sometimes the relationships are so aligned that actually the sharing is healthy up to the point where you go, I don't feel good about it. But it's really hard to know when that I don't feel good about it is going to hit you.
And there could be room in your relationship for that to happen, but it has to be with that understanding that you have a fundamentally very strong relationship to begin with, that
Yeah,
nothing's
but
going to
how
rock
can you
that.
measure that? Okay, we have strong relationship, and
Yeah.
still sometimes we doubt it.
And I think,
But we have.
but I think that's probably a testament more to how you feel about each other, that you don't want something to come along and rock that foundation.
Secure, but still.
I mean, Mr. H wouldn't share a pizza, but he'll share his wife.
I really wouldn't.
You know, and even now I think, hang on a minute, you won't share your pizza, but you'll happily share me.
What do you mean by sharing your wife? For me, it's not like sharing. Like if someone fucks her, like I find it
So,
hot,
there's-
but mentally, I don't want to share.
do understand where you're coming
No,
from, and I've had a couple of
emotional,
rocky
yeah,
moments
sorry, thank
myself,
you.
actually, but really pulled the rug out from under me, and I wasn't expecting to feel them. So I didn't think I was the jealous party in our relationship at all until one day when I saw him cuddling someone.
That's different.
Not having
Hates
sex.
that for
So I was happy
ice
to
cream.
see. I was happy to see the sex. The sex didn't bother me until I saw the emotional aftermath when he
I get that.
cuddled
Yeah.
someone.
We've always said,
Totally.
what
And that actually destroyed me a little bit
Before we did
because
this-
I was like, oh no, I don't. I should be that.
I understand
not
that.
her.
Yeah, because we've said that.
Yeah.
We've always did this. If you were to cheat, if you were to cheat with someone, and it was just a purely one-off sexual thing, I'd be a bit pissed, but I wouldn't be
Right.
that bothered about it. But what I would be bothered if it was a full-on, you're getting something emotionally from
Yeah, some romantic stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's very different.
That's
isn't
the
it?
bit you have
It's
to
the
navigate,
physical
and
side
that's
of
the
it.
difficulty where you do find yourself questioning.
But interestingly, the ego's all at play. But we have found couples where actually we're all emotionally at the right level, and the cuddles are fine. But it's
We're
very
all involved.
if we're all involved. But it's a
Yeah.
very, very rare occurrence when when we're all of that.
How can you do that technically? Okay, you're like cuddling with Jade and at the same time
JD.
stroking this guy's belly. How you do it technically? I asked Queen lots of times. She's always like, "Oh, you did that wrong, or you did that wrong." I
Yeah,
said,
but
"What
that's
fuck
the
should
bit.
I do?"
But that's the bit that will pull you apart. The bits where actually it's a bit of tenderness and it's a little bit of emotion, and you're not expecting to see, because sex is just an act, isn't it? It is
Yeah, no,
just
I'm not bothered.
an act.
To be
Whereas
fair,
the cuddles-
JD does look very flexible, so I think we'll be able to mangle around all however many of us there are, she doesn't look that upset about that idea either.
You're right though. Those are the bits that really make you uneasy, the bit that threaten you, the bits that make you feel I'm envious now, I'm now jealous. And that's an emotion that's hard to process when it gets you because you're not expecting it. So we can completely relate to that.
Yeah, but guys, we have tried everything, like meeting couples 2 and 2. It was like, at first it was like kind of alright. Then Ice Cream said, no, this doesn't work for us. Let's make orgies. I said like, what the fuck? Okay, orgies are fine. Let's organize orgies.
What did his idea?
She's not rejecting this.
End of the day, she said no. Orgies are also not fine. What the fuck?
So my question to the ice cream would be then, what is it you look for? So it sounds
threesomes with hot guys.
Threesomes with hot guys, is that the thing?
But no cuddles.
Confidence.
It's like, what I like is that my sister, he has just 2 hands, okay, so there's limited amount of things he can do. But when there's like guy joining, so, and when they're working like together, it's like amazing. So he can't do that alone.
No.
But it's very hard to find that
I
guy.
can do a lot of things alone.
And it's not about that guy, it's about actually him. That he can treat me more with more help.
So what you really want to do is clone him.
Yeah.
Just have Dr. Manhattan.
No.
Yeah.
No. We're getting the impression that the world does not need 2 of him. It's
fun, but
anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us. That was a hardcore conversation.
Yeah.
You've not wasted our time at all. It's been fantastic meeting you. Thank you very much.
thank you both for talking.
Yeah, we hope you find.
But if you want me to be one of your 40 guys,
I have a list already.
I think ice cream will. Okay, cool.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're joined today, or this evening, from the social with an extra couple of lovelies that we've managed to move, kidnap,
Procure.
Silently shift, entice. They were led to believe there was going to be punch and pie. There is none of those things.
Awkward.
It's terrible.
It's awkward for me. I'm really hungry.
Yeah, but we spend so much time.
It's gone.
The food, there is half a chip out there.
It's not even that.
Is there not anymore?
No. Nothing. There is nothing out there.
I mean, well,
It's
so
a desolate wasteland.
you know you can order food to this table, right?
I did not know this. Why have you not told me this before now?
Yeah, but then you have to pay for it.
I will pay for food. I'm starving. To be continued. Fine.
Yes.
What else
So
have you got?
we're basically on an alcoholic diet from. I can't even talk anymore. It's gone. All this podcasting experience out the window. Throwing everything against microphone. Still, please. Anyway, we're joined by these lovely people. So
How many Gronies have you had?
not enough.
I think the answer is too many.
No, the answer is not enough because the answer is always not enough. Anyway, welcome, guys.
Fine.
So we're at a social this evening. You're at a social this evening. Bonus. Bodes well. We want to know, what is your top tip? So you're going to a social. What do you do? How do you integrate yourselves?
How do you not be a wallflower, sitting silently, not integrating with people, which is our worst trait ever?
We're very bad at integrating.
We ask the wrong people.
Yeah,
Clearly.
we're the kind of couple who just sits there in the corner and don't really. When we smoke, we both smoke, so that's where we usually speak to people.
Actually, that's interesting. So smoking is actually pretty social because it makes you talk.
You talk more when you're in the smoking area than you do when you're inside. Because it's too loud inside to talk to anybody.
Can anybody tell me where is the cock smoking area?
Oh my god, there is no such thing.
Oh, okay, right. Just in case I'm missing out.
You're not missing out.
I am always worried that I'm missing out.
Do you know what though? It's true. If you smoke, you're right. Actually, it does force some kind of social interaction because what else are you going to do? You're standing there freezing. You're smoking. You're going to talk to people.
So what we need here is some level of drug that we can offer people to entice them in. Come here, talk to the bed hoppers, get your free heroin right now.
Oh my god! It's took a dark turn.
All right, it's not heroin. But
Yeah, gateway drug.
get your free speed here.
The last thing I want is to see you on speed. You talk enough as it is. What? No.
Get
No,
your
a
free weed
million
here.
times no.
We will sponsor your weed trip. This is fine. It's all perfectly legal.
And according to you, me on weed is not pleasant.
No, it's not. Like you're just so fucking randy. It's frightening. Like literally. Anyway, sorry guys, I've interrupted your top tip. So your top tip was
To
smoke. To smoke.
Yeah,
Okay.
Just kill your lungs and smoke.
Okay, that was one top tip. You can't both have the same one because of rules.
One of you have another one.
Yes.
Try not to have a resting bitch face.
That's going to be tough
Do you
for
know
some
what?
of you.
I have one of those anyway. It doesn't go well. No, you're right. Because people don't want to go up to you.
No, I try not to have a resting bitch face, but it technically fails every single time.
We're both very picky, and like you see couples, and you might like her, or I might like her, but then he might not be quite as nice. So we will talk to anyone, but whether we ever progress that is very, very slim. It's very slim.
It's a tricky fucking balance, isn't it? Right? Because I mean, the amount of couples that we met where typically the lady's really hot. Typically.
Yes, I agree.
And I'm like, this is great. And then Mrs. H is like, no. No. I think it's because she's used to such a high standard. I can't back that up in any shape or form. But it is a tricky balance because you do want to feel like, you don't just want to sleep with anybody, right? You don't want to rock up and be like, these guys will do.
There's got to be some attraction there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's no point in just fucking anybody and everybody.
No.
Or taking one for the team.
Taking one for the team.
I think if you just rocked up and fucked anybody, dogging would probably be high on the agenda, right?
Yeah, but we're better than that.
Well, I'm better than a Ford Fiesta in the back of a forest.
You're better than a Ford Fiesta any
There's
day.
only so much cock
You're
I
at
will
least,
suck in the Ford
you're at
Fiesta,
least a
right?
Honda.
I'm at least a Honda.
Maybe more.
Honda Civic?
Maybe. I mean,
maybe.
if you really try.
Oh, an Honda Civic. Don't be judging my car, man. It's got a Transformer sign on the back, which makes it cool.
You could at the very least be a car with heated seats. You can aspire to good things.
It's because the inside of a Honda, I'm going to justify this now, I feel obliged. It looks like a spaceship.
It's like Star Trek. Pretty much.
It has the dashboard of the Starship Enterprise.
We're never good at social.
It's a tricky thing, socials, right?
Things like this. I mean, most of our meets will be like, we'll invite someone round to our house and we'll have a drink or we'll go to a local pub or something like that. And then that's fine, because, it's 2 on 2.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier, we can tackle them a lot easier. But,
do socials put you out of your comfort zone a bit? Yeah.
Too many people, something like this.
See, I like the
and
idea of it.
A social.
Yeah, I think the thing is,
I like the idea.
Yeah.
And we like one of our favourite clubs is Extasia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we like the dance theme, the clubby kind of thing.
Is that the place? And I've got to ask this. That we saw Naked Dancing Jesus. Naked Dancing Jesus was at Extasia.
We didn't say anything like that.
Oh, you missed out. You really missed out. He turned up.
See, that for us is a night away. We'd have to, we go to Extasia, we stop and then grab your in next door.
Yeah, it's so handy, right?
Yeah, really handy. Yeah. So we have to sort everything out like the dog and making sure that she's all sorted. Don't we?
Yeah.
But every time we've been to Extasia, it's been really good. I've enjoyed it.
Okay.
So you said that you've got to cope with dog sitters and all that sort of stuff. We feel the pain. It's tricky. Yoko needs at least a level 5 dog sitter. I don't know what level 5 dog sitting is.
Like a hipster level of dog sitter.
A hipster level of dog sitting. But you put all this pressure on, because all this stuff needs to happen, so you can just leave the house for a night.
Yeah.
Do you feel more pressure to play or have a good night because you're there? Or?
No, we're fine. We've been out to clubs many a time, haven't we? And we just go for the social side.
I've never, while we've all been doing this, I've never once felt pressured that I've had to play with someone.
Okay, that's good.
It's been really nice.
Come on in. Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in. We were just joined by the host of Unseen Lounge.
One of the hosts. I mean, let's not give him too many credits. It's fine. He can come in. He can make as many mouth hand gestures as you want, but I'm still going to keep talking.
Hand gestures.
He does go from hand to mouth very easily.
They're so good.
Right, let's not give innuendos.
Can you say those anymore?
I think you should come over here and make this hand mouth gesture.
You've added a lot of value, I'm afraid, my friend. So, we were talking about the thought of socials, expectations. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Hello, this lovely lady who we interviewed before is back. Come on, join us.
Back. She's come back.
Hello. We're going to pull up a chair. This is all very social now.
So, as one of the hosts of this delightful social,
lovely, by the way.
I'm asking social man a question here.
Okay, well,
so
what's wrong? That should not be my family.
Social pariah.
Pariah.
There you go. You can be the.
I'm like on the outskirts of the social group.
I've got the theme tune. He's a real social man living in a social land.
All right, so as the social messiah here, okay, what's your expectation then of people coming to your social? What do you hope that people will achieve?
To be honest, just make good friends. Network a wee bit.
Yes.
There's lots of people that even I've met here tonight that are new to the life, and they don't know what they don't know, and so this is a really good opportunity to ask loads of questions. Yeah, just like talk to people. I mean, the icebreaker thing that we did hopefully had a lot of questions that people maybe hadn't thought of. Good to do it, yeah. It's hardly an original idea. Thank you very much, Gaming Lifestyle.
I've found out that so many more people want anal with me than.
Do you know what? I accidentally left one "Do you like anal?" question in all the sheets.
So
thank you.
But luckily, it's anal Saturday, right?
It was nice of you to add the words Mr. H at the end of it all.
Yeah, I mean, in general terms, I just hope that people make good friends, nice playmates in a non-pressurised environment.
Nice.
I always find that if you're at a club, regardless of who talks to you, you have an instant wall.
Do you think there's an expectation that people think you should play because you're in a club?
Not
maybe?
should, but there's an instant assumption that they want to play. So whether you're attracted to them or not, whether they're just being friendly or not, you instantly assume that because you're in that environment, you want them.
So you're giving people maybe a platform to just be themselves and get to know people and network a bit without the pressure of playing. We're in a club, we should probably do something.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be amazed. The amount of people that I speak to, that other people speak to, who they would never play with. And actually, given a play environment, they would never talk to. But I think that given this type of environment where that's not on the table, people are far more ready to have that conversation, to just have a chat and actually have a laugh and make friends. The amount of people that I've spoken to in there who have come to multiple events, who see these people time and time again and never play, go to barbecues, go horse ride, go do whatever, and actually it's not a friendship they would have cultivated had they not been in an environment. It wasn't on the table.
Yeah. So a nice neutral environment.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And that's my thing. I mean, people have talked to me before about doing play events, and while that's something I've considered, it's not something that I'm very keen to do, because the reality is there's a lot of people that I invite to my events that I wouldn't play with, and if they were interested to come to a play event and I turned them away because I didn't want to play with them, that taints what I want this to be.
You should leave your taint out of this.
I love talking about your taint.
Tidy and
Can we talk about your taint a bit more?
Sure. Okay.
What's your favourite bit of your taint?
Top left. A little bit right, but yeah. I mean that's kind of why I wanted to do the events. I didn't want to pick anyone that was based on their looks, age, orientation, desires, kinks, whatever it is. This is
all are welcome.
Yeah. If you're in it, as long as you're respectful, you don't send a dick pic. Don't send a dick pic.
We can't emphasise this enough.
I'm so fucking sorry, man. I've sent 20 today.
Mr. H's dick pic looks like Liam Neeson.
I hate how guys decide to
compulsory dick pic.
Yeah.
I see more cock a day than
I agree. Dick pics are very unnecessary.
If you do search in Google for dick pics, that's what you're going to find, my friend.
God, Mr. H is Liam Neeson cock.
Yes, Liam Neeson.
I've watched that movie.
I have a very particular set of cock skills.
Yes.
No, let him finish this. Go on. Please continue.
Cock skills that I have acquired over a long
I want
period
to
of
know,
time.
what are your cock skills?
Cock skills that are a problem for people like you.
It's the voice.
Please tell me what your cock skills are.
He makes it bounce in rhythm.
What, are we still on about cock skills?
Yeah.
What are your cock skills? Do tell.
I mean, do you know what I'm interested in? And please, just because I'm standing here, what are, like, first time you guys have been genuine thoughts?
So this isn't our first social, but it is our first Nottingham social.
Yes, first
Right,
one.
okay. So our experience of socials, generally...
And actually posted specifically for you.
Right.
This date was booked, so
I
you were
know.
free.
I was very fussy with
Yes,
dates.
you really were.
Thank you. You are very accommodating. Thank you. So my experience of socials, sadly, is actually they're always a bit too loud, and I can't hear anything anyone's saying to me. So I'm pleasantly surprised that this one has met my expectations in that I can actually hear what people are saying. Because the whole point of a social is to talk to people.
Yeah.
And if you can't hear them, very frustrating.
It's
and I'm
That's the key
instantly
thing.
put off.
Music.
Instantly put
It's
off.
good here because you've got a louder environment in
Yes.
there, and you can come out
Yes.
here to a quieter environment.
Absolutely. So number one for me, absolutely, I want to hear people and what they have to say.
It's very hard to invite people to a fuck party if they
If
can't
they
hear
can't
you.
hear what the fuck you're saying.
I don't know, Fraggy.
So I'm pleasantly surprised that this social has met my sound expectations.
How many other expectations did you
Well, I
have?
had some food expectations, and sadly they were not met. But anyway, that's just me. Because I'm inherently greedy. We know this. Yeah. So, I mean, ultimately, I want to talk to nice people that are on a similar wavelength.
He's still worried about the food.
Oh, God! Well, there is none.
She
so
didn't have any food.
There was some, you just didn't eat it when it was available.
Well, apparently it went very quickly.
And I couldn't be bothered to queue, so by the time the queue had gone,
Yeah.
So
maybe that's
the window was apparently quite limited, so we missed that window.
I got the widest selection they offered.
Yeah. Maybe Mr. H wasn't quick enough.
To be fair, we were stood outside of the main area talking to people. So if we didn't eat the food, it's because we were too busy talking and eating the nutrition of good conversation.
there's a good kebab shop around here somewhere.
I've heard that.
You can order food to the table.
I'm gonna do that in a minute. Totally.
All right. What was your
When I
other question? After you've been,
When I finished massaging Mr. Unseen Lounge's ego here with
That
his...
is not my name.
What would you like me to call you?
What is my podcast name?
It's Barney Stinson.
Good go. Anyway.
Very lovely it is too.
Yeah, I'm curious, yeah. What else?
All right. What were your
Is there any
expectations?
downfalls apart from the foods? Because these are the things I want to
Yeah, I need to know.
actually, I've been really impressed because
Yeah, me too.
we've come a long way to get here, and I think it's been really nice because there was a sort of social element where we could answer little questions on cards that you guys have provided that have encouraged conversation.
Yeah.
You guys have been out and about all over the place, just chatting to people. It's been fantastic. It really helped that your other half was talking to me, so that I felt very special. That was nice. But
Good touch on your part, getting your other half to talk to
providing my
people.
other half,
Because
yes,
she's
she's an
really
asset.
hot. She's really hot. Yeah.
yeah. But actually, the atmosphere has been really good. It's been really nice. It's not been prohibitive in any way. And I think when you come to an event like this, you don't know what to expect. You kind of get in there and you turn up and you're like, what the fuck is this going to be? And really, everyone's been good. So the selection of people, not that you're selecting people, but the breadth of people have been really friendly. A number of people have come out and chatted with us throughout the evening. The conversation has been really pleasant, and you can't really ask for more from a social. And everyone we've spoken to has been universally of the mindset that this is much more about a social aspect than a let's get down to taking our pants off. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
What they do in different situations. And
Oh yeah, we always
learning
chat about that.
To be fair, you never stop learning about the scene, no matter how long you've been doing it. It's still
No, I agree. agree. There's always something around the corner that will surprise you.
Definitely.
That's right. It's for us, the social side's as big as anything.
Yeah.
You know, that's, if we go out, have a good night out together, something happens, so what? You know what I mean?
Although I will say, as ever, our learning is you have to get out there and talk to people. You can't just sit in a corner and wait for people to talk to you.
Well, it's much easier if you're a couple of podcasting wankers and ask your host to bring people towards you, rather than having to go out and actually.
Podcasting wankers.
Just wankers. Thank you. It's very kind of you.
I was going to say something far more complimentary. But I can't.
Oh, go on, please do. Please do.
I was going to say, genuine, lovely podcasting.
To be fair, at this event, you are actually quite a bit of a celebrity.
Yeah?
Oh, hello.
The kissing booth didn't work, but you didn't sit in the right table.
Wait, there was a kissing booth? Where is the kissing booth?
I think on that note, we're going to head back into the club.
Yep, head back into the foray.
See what the hell is going on. Thank you guys for joining us.
No problem.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, still here? Fantastic, you made it. Well done.
Me, thanks.
Well, everybody.
It was in doubt for a while.
100 bed hopper points for all.
Do I get extra ones?
No.
No.
You've not done anything to deserve them, quite frankly.
I turned up.
Yeah, that's true. You turned up, you sat down, you squeaked at the microphone. And
I survived on strepsils and hot cross bun tea.
Hot cross bun tea
Which is actually really quite interesting.
It's quite pleasant, isn't it?
It smells better than it tastes.
It tastes like the
Like
memory
most things in life.
of a shadow of a hot cross bun.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you ate a hot cross bun without having actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, maybe this is the way forward for diets. Just smell the tea that smells like the taste of hot cross buns, but you don't have the calories associated with the delicious pastry.
What I'd really like is like a burger flavoured tea then.
What? No, you're a monster. God, no.
Burger flavoured tea it is.
But no. That's just weird.
But no, that's weird. Fine.
You'd have a whole load of spin-offs like fish and chips tea and
yes,
a roast dinner tea, pizza tea.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is taking a dark turn.
Iced tea.
Nasty. That's already a thing.
Is it?
Like peach tea.
I was talking about the wrapper.
Oh.
So thank you ever so much for everyone that came along to the interviews and spent time at their nice little social to chat to us and really be honest and open about some good stuff that's been going on in their lives and some not so good stuff, as you'll have heard. So thank you very much, people, for taking part in that. Other things that we've got coming up. So a while ago, we talked a little bit about other things that were exciting. One of the things was around being on TV. And the other thing is around another way we can get on TV, which is through YouTube. So we've been looking at doing our YouTube channel, and it's something that we've got in development. So hopefully in the next few weeks, we'll be able to release a couple of episodes or maybe one episode, given how mental life is.
When I don't look like I'm dead.
Yeah, I mean, if we could do it and then release it at Halloween.
Oh my God, thank you. I don't look that bad. Close, but...
So one of the ways in which we're looking at developing our show is keeping the podcast as it is, pretty much the what we've been up to, what's going on, the reviews and all that sort of stuff, and looking at the YouTube channel being much more aimed at people who have questions about the lifestyle and are looking to enter into it. Because we get a lot of questions each week about the same sort of stuff. How do I get started? How do I have the conversation with my wife? All that kind of thing.
Yeah, it seems to be a big question, doesn't it?
So we're looking to do some of that stuff on YouTube over the coming weeks and months and years, maybe, But let's one step at a time. If nothing, we're ambitious, but also we're dealing with a shit bunch of shit.
Shit.
Yeah. Life finds a way, though, doesn't it? As the great Jeff Goldblum once said.
And he does.
So anything else you want to add to this delightful conversation, wife?
No, I'm going to preserve what little I have left of voice and airways. And hopefully life will get a bit more normal.
Good. All right, then. Do you want to do the thing?
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for hopping into our beds.
So, how you feeling?
Right now?
Yeah.
Like the Grim Reaper is around the corner.
The Grim Reaper. To be fair, he's just been...
I feel really pants.
You feel pants?
Like, there's no party in my pants to be had right now.
There is not a pants party.
There is not a pants party.
Is not everyone invited?
Everyone would just like let themselves out the back door if they came into my pants. Oh, this sounds awful.
If everyone came into your pants, it would be through the back door.
No, it would let themselves out the back door. Because the party would be really rubbish.
This has taken a really sinister turn.
It really has. You started it.
All I was going to say is that it feels like the Grim Reaper's just hanging around anyway.
He literally is.
Just
like
for shits
tapping
and
me on the
giggles.
shoulder. Like, come on. Can't hang around today.
Well, I don't think he's tapping you on the shoulder.
I wish he would.
Bless you. Should I drive you out into the moors and leave you be?
Yeah, possibly.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
Bless you.